The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Teddy, have you noticed how little attention science and health issues get in the media?
Totally, Edgar, yet science information is very important.
Yeah, for sure. That's why the Health Journalists Network is here.
How can they help?
They are a group of journalists dedicated to advancing public understanding of healthcare issues through impactful reporting on health and science.
Oh, really?
Yes, they meet up every month with scientists and researchers, policymakers, and activists at the science media cafes. They then relay what they discuss to the public.
Does that benefit us?
Oh yes, very much so. This helps with health and science literacy for a healthy Ugandan society.
Okay. I love getting informed about science and health issues. Health information makes all the difference between life and death. I'll look them up and engage them.
That's great. They are based all over the country.
Oh, okay. That's interesting, and they should be making real impact.
They are empowering health communities through journalism. Journalists can save lives just like doctors.
Hi, welcome to the Political Dice.
Empichi y'ebyobufuzi.
It's controversial,
Purely political.
well researched,
Accurate and global.
Oyagala bya parliament oba council.
Bya State House oba ghetto.
Ani ayugayuga ku ground.
Ani bwe baabuze.
Okimanyi nga Dr. Kizza Besigye aleese amaanyi.
Olwo fadda bafutsoli abateeseemu obuvaazi.
Oba yo DP eri ku ki?
Olwo jeema.
Bano ba MKCG bo baddawa.
Abo bafuna CDF baamala tebabanja. Olwo baba ate bange bali ku ki?
Abo bo akina kulabisa simayanga posturing tebabiri bali mu structure building. Naye ate ono ye.
Ani oyo oba?
Ye ali ku ki?
Oyo kyomuleketa gamba anyiga mangu.
Ebe na birindira no ku the Political Dice ku the Alternative Dig Talk nange Teddy Tenjo ewamune
Farida Bikobere
buli wa Sunday
esawa 2.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
This is Digitalk TV, ladies and gentlemen. Vladimir Putin visits North Korea. That is in 24 years. This is his particular first visit. And of course, the Busiki member of parliament, Paul Akamba, is still missing as we speak right about now. Welcome to this edition of the Mighty Drive Show. My name is Edgar Matthew Karhang. And of course, every particular weekday from Monday to Friday, we're always here having a conversation with Uganda starting from 8 to 10 a.m. These conversations we have here, we hope that at the end of the day, they will help you make an informed decision, but also be a better citizen at the end of the day and also make Uganda a better place and, of course, the world at large. We're not called only to serve Uganda, we are called to serve humanity. So it is in these conversations that we think we are going to devise solutions that are going to create a better world for each and everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in on yet another insightful morning. It's the 18th day of June 2024. A lot of stories are going on. As I hinted in my introduction, Vladimir Putin is visiting North Korea. That is the first time in 24 years. He was last in North Korea, that is what was in the year 2000 flat. Many of the young people were not born at the time. But of course, for some of us who were there, we thought the world was going to end in 2000. But of course, it's 2024. The world is still continuing like nothing has ever happened. Thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, I respect everyone who tunes in from as far as the diaspora. I have people who watch us in the Middle East. Thank you so much for watching. I have Mrs. Kakule. Martha, you're always watching us live from Dubai. Thank you so much for watching. I have Mr. Kamoga Franklin Gooding from San Francisco, that is in California, in the United States of America. Thank you so much for tuning in, and everybody who watches us from the diaspora. But also, the folks who watch us domestically here, it's really, really humbling because you invest in a lot of resources just to watch the Mighty Drive Show and Digitalk TV at large. So it is not something that we take lightly. We really esteem in that, and we are honored that you keep on watching these particular shows each and every day. Remember, the world is going digital as we speak. So why not tap into the digital world as soon as now? So thank you so much for investing your time, your resources to watch this particular show. It's not the only show that we have at Digitalk TV. There are various shows that you can tune in. We have the Political Dice. We have a show called The Voltage Show happening on Thursday. We have the Interface Show with retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besije happening every Friday. That is from midday to 2 p.m. So we have various shows. The Hotline, it's always on a Monday. That is in the evening from 7 to 9 p.m. The Hotline show is always there. So thank you so much for always tuning in. Now, tonight or this morning, I'm honored to be joined by two gentlemen who are going to be joining me very, very soon. These gentlemen are candid political activists. They have a track record in this country for their activism. Today we are going to be, they are going to be commemorating 10 years since they're one of, you may call their biggest activities that they have done in so far. That is the yellow piglets. If someone remembers, in 2014, the yellow piglets that were bundled and taken to Parliament. This was in, in rioting or in demonstration against what they call the parliamentary impasse and corruption that was at the August House at the time. So Norman Tumuhimbise, with his colleague, that is Robert Mayanja, set a bar high by doing such an activity. And many of Ugandans wonder, how did they even come about to even be able to smuggle these particular piglets into the August House, colored in yellow, what it took them, and of course, what does that mean to the activism space of this country? I'll be asking them more questions on that. And then the other question would be, where are they today, 10 years down the road? They have, done such an activity. They are, someone may call them famous, others may call them notorious, but they actually did what they did. So the question would be, where are they today? What does this mean to them, and what does the future hold for Uganda and the way Uganda continues to grapple with the challenges that we have? So today, or this morning, I'll be joined by Mr. Robert Mayanja and Mr. Norman Tumuhimbise. So please do tune in for that particular details. But allow me go into some of the news stories that we have tonight. Busiki Member of Parliament, Paul Akamba, is still missing up to today. Paul Akamba is one of the legislators that were incarcerated, that was last week, or arrested by the Uganda Police Force. These were charged with budget corruption, and two of their colleagues are still, have been in fact sent to the High Court for hearing. So their case is going to be heard as soon as possible. Now the question would be, where is the third legislator? They were arrested, 3 of them. One was given bail, that is the Busiki Member of Parliament, but after being given bail, unfortunately, a group of gunmen, for lack of a better word, wearing civilian attire, bundled this particular gentleman and put him in one car, and up to today we don't know his whereabouts. Now, according to various reports, this gentleman is being held by CMI. We are not sure about that information. That is being held by CMI on some other charges that they think will be tabled in court very, very soon. The question is, where is this gentleman? Because this undermines the power of, the sanctity of court, because court is one of the bodies, or the only body that is allowed to offer bail and, of course, to release and to be able to convict an individual for about any case that they have, had, or a problem that they have. Now, the question is, if the court of Uganda has actually legally given bail to a legislator who is presumed innocent until proven guilty, and then is bundled and incarcerated by civilians, what does this really mean? Isn't this undermining the sanctity of court? And of course, where does this leave the place of court in the decision making and how justice is administered in this country? Then the other question is, all the security apparatus who have this gentleman, the question is, where is he? It's very easy as just saying that we are holding this particular individual at this particular designated area. But up to date, we have not heard where this gentleman is, Paul Akamba. His wife is also not in the know of where the gentleman is, and we hope that the security forces will be able to, first of all, tell us where he is, but also reduce on this unconstitutionalism of bundling people and arresting them even after the police, the Uganda, even after the courts of law have actually given them their freedom. This is not the first time this is happening. You remember last year, that was in 2021, not even last year. We had legislators like Segirinya Mohammed and his colleague Ssenyonyi Alan, the members of parliament for Kawempe North and Makindye West respectively. These two gentlemen were given bail by court, but after being given bail, again, the state apparatus, especially men in civilian clothing, got them, bundled them in vehicles and took them to undesignated areas. Now, this undermines the power of court, and this has happened time and again. We hope that there will be something better for Ugandans. Then at just 14 minutes past the top of the hour, you're still watching the Mighty Global News Updates. I have news stories from Lubigi. Evictions continue in that part of the country. Remember, this is a wetland according to NEMA and the government, and many people have encroached on this particular wetland. So from the 27th of May 2024 up to today, evictions continue. Now yesterday was a bit worse and tense after a group of squatters who have been living in this area tried to demonstrate over these particular evictions. Police had to use a bit of tear gas to disperse these particular people living in these particular areas. Now this comes at a time when many people believe that yes, they may be living in a wetland, but the question is, has government really done its part in fighting this particular challenge? Now the thing is, many believe that the government is exacerbating the problem by offering building tickets, building permits to the people who are constructing in these particular areas. The leader of opposition was in Lubigi, and one of the remarks that he made, that is Mr. Joel Ssenyonyi, he confirmed that whereas living in a wetland is really illegal, there are some people, some entities that are living there, but they are being left to, move scot-free. For example, there is a petrol station that he pointed out that is in the Lubigi wetland. He also mentioned that the Uganda Police Force officers are also in the wetland of Lubigi. So he says, as we are evicting these people for illegally squatting in these particular areas, it should be equitable in nature. Everybody should be able to feel the pinch. If the people are being evicted, that means even the police has to leave, even the petrol station has to leave that particular area. So, and this is one of the biggest points that have been pointed out when it comes to the evictions in Lubigi. Many believe that there is unequitable evictions that are made. Some people are being evicted while others are left to stay, and this has brought about some bit of confusion and disenfranchisement by the people in that particular area. So one of the other solutions that the people in Lubigi have turned to is suing government. They say they're going to sue government, first of all, to compensate them for their money, their time, and many squatters, by the way. I saw one of the former soldiers, what we call ex-servicemen, donning his uniform and saying, hey, I've been staying here for years and years. What does it mean when you just break my home just like that? So that is what is happening in Lubigi. We'll be talking about that maybe when we get time with the two colleagues that are going to be on the panel today. Then news going in at the August House, Parliament. A few MPs have been summoned by CID once more. Remember yesterday, Fred Enanga, that is the spokesperson of the Uganda Police Force, actually came out to fact check this and said it is not true. There was a list of MPs that was going around saying that all these 30 MPs had been summoned. He said this is false and we should just treat it with the contempt that it deserves. Now, 2 members have been confirmed that to be summoned by CID. They will be going there to actually make statements on some of the allegations that have been made about them. I'm not going to disclose the names of these 2 legislators until we have evidence to confirm that they are the ones. But one thing I can hint on is that one is from the eastern region and the other legislator is from the Western region. Now, these legislators are going to be answering questions about how they misused funds in regards to cooperatives. I think they were responsible, or they were stewards for the funds in for some of the cooperatives, and some of that money was mishandled or mismanaged, or what you may call embezzled in some way. So they have been summoned by the CID, and I think they will be appearing there today. If not today, probably tomorrow they will be appearing at the CID to continue with the investigations. Now, after that, we shall be in position as Digitalk TV to name these particular people, and you'll be able to know them. But now it comes at a time when President Museveni has just finished the State of the Nation address, and he was very pertinent about talking about corruption, and he said he is willing to fight it. He first of all ended up by saying that they can be given amnesty, especially these legislators, and the very same legislators said to the contrary, that is nay or no. So after making such a decision, President Museveni is now going bare knuckles or hard on the corrupt people. Let's wait and see how this road is going to continue to go. Many people believe that President Museveni does not play the kind of game in his game in such a way, but some people are believing that maybe it's a wake-up call for people who have been corrupt to be better people in society. Now, I told you that Vladimir Putin is visiting North Korea. That is in 24 years. After 24 years, he was last there in the year 2000. Now he is there on official visit, and it's happening today. In fact, he landed in Pyongyang. That was today, and that was yesterday night. So he's going to be in Pyongyang, that is North Korea, on the day today, and of course tomorrow, as he's going to be visiting his counterpart Kim Jong-un, the president of North Korea. Now, Russia has actually not had a lot of friends on the international scene as after they invaded Ukraine. That was in the year 2021. After that Ukraine invasion, Russia has been actually on the sidelines of global politics. Firstly, the Western Front looking at them as imperialists trying to, wreak havoc and invade what they call an independent country, which was Ukraine. So Russia has found itself in a midst of a bit of challenging times. So it comes at a time when I think the only few countries that Putin has visited from the time he invaded Ukraine, I think it's mostly China. He has been, he's now in North Korea. I don't think there are many countries that this gentleman has actually visited in his tenure after invading Ukraine. So let's wait and see, but this of course brings about an imbalance, or what you may call also a balance of powers, because Russia has got its own allies. When you look at the global politics, then the United States also has got its own allies. So how do you really work together to harmonize? We saw Vladimir Putin having a lot of connections these days in Eastern Europe, Asia, but also in Africa. You have seen him in Niger. There hints there in Central African Republic. We see the militia force of Russia, Wagner being in that particular area. So Russia is trying to create as much allies as it can. And remember, Putin in the past, in the recent past, was actually able to talk about the challenges that they have, especially between them and the Western powers. And of course, he warned those people who are trying to aid Ukraine. And when we talk about people aiding Ukraine, you're talking about Western powers like United States and the UK and all those. He said those people trying to, arm and help Ukraine, you're doing a direct, involving yourself directly into the war. So was that a threat? Can Putin really maybe launch something to the United States? And of course, we do not wish to have something like that, because that can be a snippet or a point that can break into what we may call the Third World War. But that is how it's looking like. Russia already has, I told you, some alliances. They have the BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, I think, Indonesia, China, and South Africa. Russia is trying to reorganize and restructure how global politics is looking like. Then maybe as I conclude this particular news bulletin, we have also stories coming through about Uganda's economic outlook for the month of April and June. So Uganda has confirmed that the last month was not bad. we did well according to statistics. We had a total export of merchandise that is worth 2.370 trillion. That's a lot of money. When you compare it or juxtapose it with the money that we got that was in the month of May, you realize in the month of April, you realize that there is a slight increment, because in the month of April we were able to export merchandise that was worth 2.350 trillion. So there is an increment of 20 billion, which is not something that you can put down. So that's a win when it comes to our economic outlook for the month of April. So let's wait and see June, how June is going to look like, because even the budget was read this particular month and the financial year will be beginning next month. So let's wait and see how this particular month is going to be looking like. And maybe sadly, the last story is the story of suicides. Suicides have become suicides, especially among young people, young children, teens, students who are going to school. And this is not only in Uganda. It is something that is a common phenomenon in East Africa. We've had cases of suicides in Kenya, Nairobi. We've had cases of suicides in Tanzania. It's becoming something that is worrying, and that brings me to a point of mental health as something that is affecting various people in their spheres of influence. Please be as nice or as kind. Nice is not a good word to use. Let me say as kind as you can to your neighbor, because people are battling a lot of things. And the question is, why would a young person have that idea of taking their own life? What makes them think that when they take their own life, they will be better? So you as a young person watching me today, I don't think there's a guarantee that when you leave this world, all like everything is really well. I think that's just a shortcut. As a young people, you were born to live a long life, like a stalk of wheat in its season. So ladies and gentlemen, please rethink these things, and of course call someone in case you have a challenge, and always have a solution. Death can never be a solution to the problems that we have. My name is Edgar Matthew Karuhanga. This is the Mighty Drive Show. Let's go for a short commercial break. When I come back, I'll be joined by Mr. Mayanja Robert and Mr. Norman Tomuhimbi. So we're going to be talking about activism, current affairs, and how we make Uganda a better place. Good morning.